Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Hi, it's Bonner again. Today, obviously, we're looking at Blackbird, a song by the Beatles from 1968 on the White Album, written shortly before that by Paul McCartney. There's numerous videos of him on YouTube. Go and check them out. Videos from when he first presented the song to the Beatles. It's a controversial song because there are two ways of playing the main riff, as a finger-picked or fingerstyle pattern, which is what I just did, and then the actual original way that Paul McCartney played it, which I'm going to show you. John Lennon and Paul McCartney were phenomenal songwriters, creative, wonderful singers, and really only so-so guitar players, all things considered. No training, no technical skills, no classical chops. So they often made up different ways to play things to get the sound that they wanted because they didn't have the knowledge to do it. And that's what's the case in this. So it's fascinating because we can use this as a song to learn some fingerstyle ideas. We can also learn the creative approach that Paul McCartney took that was quite ingenious and still sounds beautiful on the song. So that's what we're going to do. Today we're going to look at the layout of Blackbird. It's kind of laid out like a fingerstyle song, so there's not really chords so much as positions, but we're going to look at the positions that there are. The fingerstyle pattern, whether you play it as Paul McCartney did or as I do, it's made up of two simple patterns that are played. Either the first half is played by itself or the first half is joined by a second half. I'm going to show you those two rhythmic patterns for the playing. I'm going to take you through each of the sections of the song. Basically, there's really only two sections of the song. There's the verse and then there's a little bridge. And then to make it more interesting, we chop up little chunks of either of the verse and glue them in here and glue them in there. Kind of like extra layers in one of those fancy sandwiches that you get at a garden party. And I'm going to show you where all those pieces are. I'm going to show you the structure of the song, and that's what we're going to do. So let's get into it. Let's start off and talk about, I said there are two little simple patterns that make up the rhythm of this piece. Don't worry too much about the left hand. I'm going to put the left hand notes on the screen for you to follow along. We're just doing some very, very simple stuff. Throughout the whole song, we're either holding down only one note or two. So it's very, very straightforward to play with the left hand. But the right hand will take a little practice. Once you get the right hand down, it will be very, very smooth and comfortable. It doesn't take long, but you do have to practice for a while. Okay, two patterns. The first pattern is called a pinch drone. And this is a common mechanism that comes from classical music. It's used on all kinds of music. It's really handy to know. And all you're doing in that first beat that you can see the notes on your screen, we're just pinching the low E string and the B string. And then we're droning by pulling with the pointer finger on the G. So the sound of a pinch drone is this. And this is what we're using. Now, if we look at that whole first line of the song, the intro, I'm going pinch, drone, pinch, drone, pinch, drone. Okay? So that's the first simple pattern. It's just the pinch drone, and you're going to see it over and over again. Pinch, drone, pinch, drone, pinch, drone. Okay? The other pattern that we're going to do is we're going to glue onto the end of the pinch drone a roll that goes B string. I'm going to show you that now. It goes... here I'm playing it at the 10 and 12. But again, just follow the notes. Don't worry about my left hand too much. And now I'm going to go B string, A string, B string, G string. That's the roll. So it's just B string, A string, B string, G. So put together, it's pinch, drone, and roll. Pinch, drone, and roll. And that's all that there is there's the short pattern, pinch, drone, and the long pattern, which is pinch, drone, 1, 2, 3, 4, pinch, drone, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the whole song. Okay, we're either doing a pinch drone or a pinch drone and roll. Now, let's talk about how Paul McCartney fooled the whole world into thinking he was a better guitar player than he is. Now, he has become a much better guitar player over the years, but, you know, he's had another 50 years to work on it. But at this time, this was what he came up with. So he wanted that sound. And what he did was he just played it with one finger, up, down, just strumming like the B and G string, maybe the D string, but I think it's probably just mostly the B and D string. So he's just going like this. Here it is. Pinch, drone, up, down. I find it easier to play with my middle finger to play the strum. So it's pinch, drone. Okay, so that's what he's doing there. If you're not a finger picking person, you may find it easier to do that strumming version. Okay, it's pinch, drone, and then just going up, down, up, down. I'm really just playing the B, G, and D. Maybe before, I'm going to put this both before and after we walk through the whole song in pieces. And what you're going to see on the screen here is a little map that shows you what we're doing. So we're playing the intro, which is instrumental 1 line. We play the verse 1, 4 lines. Then we play the cheese, which is 1 line. And if that doesn't make any sense, you haven't watched the video yet. Then we're going to play verse 2, which is 4 lines, the bridge, 2 lines. After the bridge, we go in instrumental verse 1, basically, but with no cheese. Then after the instrumental verse, we do the bridge a second time. It's 2 lines long. And then we do a modified intro with a stop. And the modified intro is 2 lines. We play a line, we stop, the bird sings, we play the end of the line, or a second line. Then we play verse 1 again, 4 lines long. And then we have an ending that repeats the final line. We have an ending that repeats the final line of verse 1 2 times. And that's the structure of the whole song. Okay, so I want to take you through the whole thing and see both hands and what they're doing. I'm going to put the notes on the screen as well so you can see this. So first of all, there's the intro, okay? And the intro is just a single line, and all it is, and we'll talk about, and it has a special technique in it. So I'm going to show you the intro, and then I'm going to show you the special technique. And so it's cleaner. Here's the intro. Pinch, drone, pinch, drone, pinch, drone, pinch, drone, and roll, pinch, drone, and roll. And we play that all with no singing. Now, you'll notice in the middle that I go from the 2nd fret with my pointer out to the 10th fret. So this is played as a slide, and if you listen closely to Paul McCartney do it, you can hear him going. Right, he's going. Okay, so you're going to have to learn to slide if you don't already slide. You start with your finger. Here's the secret to sliding. Okay, we'll give you a mini breakout on sliding. To practice the slide first, just slide the pointer. Okay, so just practice going from 2 to 10. I'm going to put a link up to my lesson that talks about how to do the perfect slide. But in a nutshell, it's this. Have a clean note when you start. When you relax the tension in your hand to be able to slide, only relax it the tiniest amount. So you're just relaxing your fingers enough that you can move, and that's all. When you get up to the 10th fret, stop precisely at the 10th fret, right before the 10th fret. Don't slide in and approximate. Go precisely into, and work on it until you can do it precisely. There, like that. When you get it up precisely to the 10th fret, as soon as you get up there, slightly press down with your pointer finger. This raises the dynamic of the slid note and restores some of the volume that you've lost by sliding. It may make the note slightly sharp. If your hands are very strong, don't worry about it. It's for a fraction of a second. And with practice, your detuning of the note will become less and less. Just listen carefully to what you're doing. So start off with a clean note, relax your grip ever so slightly, play the note, start off with a clean note, pluck the note, relax your grip ever so slightly, slide to a precise place, and then slightly press down. When you can do that, and it doesn't take long, a couple of days of practice and you'll get good at it. Once you can do it well and repeat it, once you can do it well and repeatably, then put both fingers on. I'm using pinky. You can use ring finger on B string, whichever you're more comfortable with. I strongly recommend using your pinky. Grab both, press down, pluck, and get them both to slide in precisely to their locations. Pinky's going to 12, pointer's going to 10. And practice that for a couple of days. And then once you can do that, you can play that whole phrase. And that becomes this. Okay, so there you go. That's the first line. The second, okay, so that's the intro. Sorry, the intro is the one line. Then we have verse 1. There's 4 lines to verse 1. And the first line is the line you just played. So it's just, blackbird singing in the dead of night. Okay, and at first, work on the guitar playing. Don't worry too much about the singing. Just sing along in your head to start with. Just imagine singing. Bum, 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 ba-da-ba-dum, bum, bum. You want to imagine how the rhythm of the singing and the playing goes together, but really put 90% of your energy into learning the guitar part, 10% into paying attention to the singing. Second line starts at 3 and 5, and it's just this. Pinch, drone, pinch, drone, pinch, drone, pinch, drone. And then we go to 7 and 8 with a similar grip that we did down at 2 and 3. And it's pinch, drone, and roll. Then pointer goes down by 1 fret to 6 and 8. Now we're going to play a pattern that's descending that is kind of like a reverse of the first half of what we just played. So it goes all your life, back to pinch, drone, and roll. Back to 3 and 4. And that's all of line 3 of the verse. Line 4 of the verse is pinch, drone, and roll. It's all pinch, drone, and roll. Okay? And so it's this. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Okay? And what you want to pay attention to in line 4 is the bass halfway through. When you go to the C note, we switch over to the D bass. So we're playing A string bass, A string bass again. Now we go to a D bass, and then down to the G. And that's line 4. That's the verse. Okay, next section is after the first verse, we have some cheese, maybe cream cheese. If you've ever had like those cucumber sandwiches that they serve at like a tea party or a garden party, there's always like an extra layer of something stuck in the middle, like it's cucumbers, but there's also butter on one side and cream cheese on the other and stuff like that. That's what this is. This is the cheese. So here's what we play after the very first pass of the verse. It's the only time we play it. And so what we do is we repeat. It's similar to the last half of line 3, but played slightly differently, and it goes like this. You'll see it on the screen there. And it's so after the singing, moment to arrive, and then we put in this cheese, and the cheese is this. Okay, that's the cheese. You only play it once. Then we just do verse 2. Verse 2 is exactly the same playing as verse 1, but now we're singing one different set of lyrics. It's take these sunken eyes and learn to see, instead of take these broken wings and learn to fly. So here's verse 2. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Okay, oh, the little different line at the end there on that fourth line. Okay, and now that takes us through, we've done verse 1, the cheese, verse 2. Now we're going to the bridge section, and it's this. And then we go, when we get down to the 1 and 3, it becomes pluck, drone, and roll. Back up to 3 and 5. Second line of the bridge is very similar, but it ends differently. And it stops there because now it just tags right into the top of the verse. So after we do the bridge, blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black. And then when we get to night, we play the intro again. Now we're going to play all of verse 1, the 4 lines of verse 1 as an instrumental repeat. We're not singing, okay? We're going to play the whole thing. So here's this is really verse 3. It's an instrumental verse that comes after the bridge, and it's just, so I'll take you out. Let's come out of the bridge and go into that, okay? So we go, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. And now we go back into the bridge. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Now we come out of the end of the bridge. So when we come out of that second bridge, we go straight into the intro again, but we're going to play a special version of the intro. So it goes, I'll play you from that same line again. At the end of the second bridge, it goes, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. And that stops. The bird sings. Be sure to hire a bird for your show. And then okay, that's the special little section, and it's just recycled bits of pieces that we've already learned from the intro. From the intro and from the cheese. So now we just do verse 1 again. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life we were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Now we're going to do, so we did that, and we're come right to the end of this moment to arrive. And now we're just going to do 2 repeats of that last line. The first one, here's the first repeat. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. And then a second repeat. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. And I as the very last thing, low G on the E string, open G string, and then I play the high E string with the G on it as well. So here's what I play at the very end of the line. So that is Blackbird by the Beatles. I've taken you through all the sections. I've shown you how the whole piece in real time, we sort of worked through it in such a way that we were putting the whole thing together. I have some rough notes that if you want a copy of my rough notes that outline all the tab, send me an email, bonner.harris@gmail.com, and I'll send you my rough notes. My rough notes show the finger picking version of this with some little annotations. But wherever you have the finger picking roll, which I play like this, you can play it like this. Okay, so it's just up, down on the strum. That's what Paul McCartney says he's doing on there. And you just want to adjust the sound of it by which strings you're picking. So he does pick it very carefully. He's just flicking a couple of the strings in there. Okay, so I hope that's helpful for you. I hope you have as much fun learning it as I have had learning it and playing it for many years. It's a wonderful song, and it's suitable for someone who is just trying to nose their way into the beginning of fingerstyle. And I'll put some fingerstyle beginner lessons up on the screen here for you if you're looking for some more get the camel into the tent with fingerstyle kind of lessons. And I hope you have fun with that. My name is Bonner. Come on back and join me again soon.